How do you feel about your daughter travelling by herself?
No problem at all. She's experienced traveller. She's got it.
Thank you. She threw it underneath. Experienced traveller. Is your baggage going to get all the way to Copenhagen? Yes. What bin does it go in? Do you need a wee or a poo? Amelia. So today we're flying to Thailand with Liz.
Can't wait, I'm so excited.
Med de bufandis. How do you feel about Amelia leaving?
Haja. I don't want her to go.
Short but sweet.
I'm going back to Sweden today. And I thought we'd do like a Q&A style video while I'm traveling. I've just gone through security, so I thought this would be time to answer the first question. How do you get through airport security efficiently? And so my best tip that I've picked up along the way is I always carry a tote bag in my hand luggage, and in this tote bag I always keep my liquids and my laptop, and then I can just easily get it out. So those are the things you need to separate when you're going through security. Anything that I might need to take out, it's in here. And I usually go through security with 2 bags, and then I don't even open this one until I'm done, and then I'll just pack it up like I have. I'm in Athens now, and that's when it sort of like feels real that I've left home and that I've gone, that I've said goodbye and everything. And this is where it usually feels like, okay, I'm leaving, this is real. So I thought that this was an appropriate time for me to answer the next question, which is, do you get homesick and how do you deal with it? I always feel terrible saying this, but I don't really get homesick that much. Of course I do have my moments. I think most people, if not everyone, does, but generally I don't feel homesick that often. I've lived in a different country from my family for almost 5.5 years, something like that, so I've kind of gotten used to it. But also from the very beginning I was always excited and I felt so ready to move away that I didn't really feel homesick. That's not to say that you can't feel homesick if you feel ready to leave and stuff, but I think I sort of had this mentality of like, okay, this is it. I sort of told myself that I just need to get on with it. I studied in England, but my family is in Greece, of course. I had a lot of friends that would go home at the weekends, and I think that they were more homesick than I was, and I think it's having that barrier, knowing that I cannot go home, or I can go home but it's either going to cost me a lot of money, time, effort, and then it's just going to be painful to go over it again. So I kind of just got used to it, and I know that's not super helpful to you, but I guess when I do feel a bit low and when I do feel some things that I try to do to get ahead of homesickness is I try to incorporate things into my daily routine that remind me of home and that make me feel still part of my community. So that could be like cultural things, or it could be as simple as calling your family. Of course, that might make it worse for some people, so I do think it's a bit of trial and error. You have to see what works for you, but hanging out with friends, maybe taking some time to yourself, accepting those feelings. I don't think there's a clear-cut piece of advice that I can give you for this. So one of my most frequently asked questions when I'm traveling is safety. How do I manage safety and how do I feel safe traveling as a solo female. Do I get scared? Do I have any tips? All that sort of thing. What makes me so sad about this question is that it's a very valid question, and it is something that I need to take into account when traveling. However, I will correct myself. It's not just when traveling. Safety isn't just a concern when traveling. It's a concern day to day. I refuse to sort of let that get in the way of me traveling and exploring the world. Yeah, sometimes I do have to lie. I never post my location live, at least. I post it a few days afterwards, or like after I've moved on to my next place. Just some basic safety precautions. Also, some food for thought here. I mostly get this question when I am traveling outside of Europe. So, for example, when I was traveling in Thailand and Central America. And honestly, this is where I felt the safest. I didn't have a problem being outside by myself at nighttime in Thailand, Costa Rica, or Mexico. I mean, Costa Rica and Mexico, I was with a friend, okay, but even then I wouldn't have felt unsafe. Whereas in Europe, on a more positive note, the next question is about memorable experiences I've had with locals in different countries that I've traveled to. My best advice that I can give to you is to get to know locals. Speak with locals. Honestly, those are some of my best experiences that I've had whilst traveling so far. For example, when I was in Mexico, my friend and I were going for lunch on our first day in Mexico City, and we came across a group of locals that were just salsa dancing, and we just joined in. It was so much fun. It's my favorite memory of Mexico City. Then in another area of Mexico, we had a cenote guide that we were late to the tour, and then he took us round to the bits that we missed at the beginning, which was, he did not have to do that at all, and it was such a special experience. Taxi drivers as well. We had a taxi driver in Playa del Carmen in Mexico that we used consistently, and we got to know him a bit better, and we used to like jam to Harry Styles in his car all together. Like it honestly felt like making a friend.
You know all the songs. You know all the songs. I feel like it makes the memories tied with a place so much stronger. I could go on with these examples forever. It's honestly like so many smaller things that just happen. Like as well in Thailand, I went to watch a fire show. Those are quite popular in Thailand. So I went to watch one on the beach one day, and the guys that were doing the show, in between their turns and their routines, they had like a football, and they were just passing the ball to each other on the beach, and they asked me to join in. And then there's other people, other like travelers, tourists, whatever you want to call them, who joined in as well. It was so much fun. Even with the language barrier, you can have fun. Any advice for wasting time, long layovers? What do you do? So I don't know if you could tell, but I have quite a long layover in Athens airport. And what have I done during this time? I've honestly been filming this video, walking around the airport trying to find filming spots. But that's not what I typically do. I try to stay off my phone while I'm in between airports and stuff on travel days. So usually I'll bring with me some sort of activity, maybe like a book, or like a puzzle book. It also depends on the time of day, time of year. If it's a city that I've never been to, or a city that I particularly like and I have enough time, sometimes I will take the opportunity to explore the city, visit some sites, do that sort of thing. So that's what I did in Istanbul, for example. If it's overnight, then I'm going to try and catch up on some sleep. Yeah, I would say I tend to bring at least one thing that I can do with me. Usually I have a Sudoku book, or I have my laptop and I can do some editing, some sort of work. you know, just use that time to get stuff done. How about we answer another quick question? What essentials do you bring on board? Now, I have really dry eyes, so I always have eye drops on me. This is not just an in-flight essential, just always. Sleeping mask, I can rest a bit and also block people and things out. And then the same goes for my loop earplugs. Of course, I do bring more stuff with me on board, but I feel like if I have these 3 things plus my passport, then the flight will be okay, and it doesn't really matter how long the journey will be. Of course, it can get boring if that was the only thing I had, but you know, I could cope without anything else.
We've made it to Copenhagen. Okay, so ignore my hair. I know it's a mess. Let me try to fix it. But I'm obviously back in Sweden now. I've been back since last night. I was going to film more, but honestly my flight was delayed, and then my train was delayed. Well, the train wasn't delayed, but there was there wasn't any trains for quite a period of time, and then I had to get like a replacement bus, blah 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 blah. Anyway, I got back like 5 hours later than I should have. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. 4 hours maybe later than I should have gotten back, but I made it back. I have just finished unpacking, and the final question that I'm going to be answering for today's video is, how do you deal with the tiredness, the physical toll that traveling has on your body? And honestly, my best advice for that is to just embrace it. Last night I just crashed. This morning I just stayed in bed. I had a horrible migraine and I just let my body recover. And whilst you're traveling in general, you should allow time for yourself to recover. Your body, I mean, you're human, your body is going to need rest. You can't just be on the go all the time. You need to slow down at times. And especially after a really long travel day, I try to take it easy the next day. You know, just do what I need to do for myself and just take care of myself, that sort of thing. Have a good meal, sleep, drink plenty of water, take it easy, and just build up that energy again. Let me know if you have any more questions related to traveling. I'd be happy to do a part 2, or just any videos, turn any questions, topics into videos. If there's anything you would like me to elaborate more on, please do let me know. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!